Again, I'd like to welcome everybody to How Dentists Can Get Better Search Rankings by 2019. This is basically an explanation on how to combine pay-per-click advertising and search engine optimizations to attract new patients. Okay, so let's see. Oh, yep. Okay. So getting found by new patients online. So how to get better, dentists can get better rankings, which ultimately means that you're getting more visibility, right? So climbing to the top of search engine results is no small feat, but you can implement various strategies on and off your website to help improve your rankings to be found by new patients. And as we near the end of 2018, now is the perfect time to end the year on a high note while preparing for even greater success in 2019. So here's what we'll cover. So I'll be giving you a pay-per-click advertising overview. And when we refer to pay-per-click, we're referring to Google Ads or formerly AdWords. And these are ads specifically that appear on search engine results pages. I'll also be giving you a search engine optimization overview, what it is, why you need it. And then I'll be guiding you on how to combine both SEO, search engine optimization, and PPC, pay-per-click advertising to maximize results. And then I'll be giving you 3 common strategies that you can use to combine both and resources in conclusion. Okay, so let's talk about pay-per-click. Pay-per-click advertising, it's now known as Google Ads. It was formerly AdWords, so just know that those two are the same things. Google just went through rebranding this last summer. So basically, it's a way for you to get seen in the exact moment the searchers are looking for businesses or practices like yours. Ads appear at the top of the search page and look similar to organic results, but these are ads. You are paying for them to be shown and clicked on. Um, you only pay when your ad is clicked by a potential patient. So you don't pay by impression, you pay by click. And that's why we call it pay per click. You are able to set a daily and monthly budget depending on what your needs are and what your targeting is. And you can target potential patients in multiple geographical locations and by other demographic data such as age, income. These are just more like income bracket estimates. So you can also do it by time of day. You can also do it by day of week. There's a lot of different ways that you could target to optimize your account. Okay, so let's talk about the anatomy of a pay-per-click ad. So a pay-per-click ad consists of three things: headlines, description, and a display URL, right? So the blue text here is a headline. Now the headline is supposed to look like search engine results, so that's the point. That's how it's supposed to see. And now Google has updated their format so the headline you get 30 characters per headline, and you get 3 headlines per ad, um, totaling 90 characters. Although with the third headline, Google may or may not show it depending on how they're personalizing results. So you'll want to keep your most important information in the first 2 headlines. You'll want to use phrases that resonate with your audience and create interest and credibility. So anything that says free, affordable, exceptional, leading, top care, anything like that, just something that grabs their attention as people are searching. And then you'll also want to include keywords in your headline that are part of a searcher's actual question or query, because those will appear in bold, which will draw the user's attention to your ad. Okay, so body copy or the description is the gray text that appears under the blue, and it allows for 90 characters and you're actually allowed to use 2 descriptions, each 90 characters totaling 180 characters. Again, the second headline, the second description may or may not be shown by Google, so your important information should be in the first description. You can use the space to describe your practice or the specific promotional offer or just enough detail to build interest. So again, that's that gray text here. The display URL here, that's the green text, that will link through, or any part of the ad, but this specifically will link through to what's called a landing page, which is where people are landing after they click on your ad. And you can strategically place keywords in the display URL It doesn't have to be exactly the URL that you're actually using on your landing page either. It could be anything you want. You can make it up. It doesn't have to be a real URL. And knowing that, you can actually use that to your advantage by just including keywords, even if the keywords don't actually exist on the URL string of the page. And then you'll want to include a call to action in there somewhere, which is basically telling someone what to do. Call to learn more, click for what a free consultation, learn more, just let the user know what next steps should be. I won't go too into detail because we do have a lot to cover, but basically I just want to give you guys an overview of how a campaign process goes. So first, during the setup, you'll want to define goals and what you're trying to achieve with your campaign. That could be new patient acquisition, that could be patient retention, a little bit of both, whatever it is, you have to define your goals. Then you have to create the actual content, which is going to be the ads that I just showed you and the page that you want the ads to point to. So you can also add ad extensions, which is additional copy that Google will randomly select to insert into your ads, but the most important thing is to focus on the headlines that I went over and the descriptions that I went over. Then you'll want to obviously review your ads, check for grammar, correct landing pages, and any misspellings that you might have included. Then we'll measure for ROI, and that is going to be a crucial part where there is software that you can implement onto your site to help you keep track of how successful your ads are. So the dashboard will tell you how often you're showing, how often your ads are showing, how often people are clicking on your ads, and then you can install additional software on your website so that the dashboard also tells you how many of those clicks actually got people to submit uh, a form or contact you through the page that they were directed to. So you'll want to implement that piece of software. It's not very hard to do. If you have a webmaster support team, if you're a ProSites member, you can send it over to member services, but that's something that is implemented to help you understand how much of your dollars are actually working and working for you. And then of course, once you get that all set up, you can't just set it and forget it. You're going to have to do some continual optimization by staying on top of what your performance metrics look like. And I will be going over performance metrics later in this presentation, so I'll dig into that. And then if you have a third party that's managing this for you, or if you're managing it yourself, you're going to want to look at reporting on an ongoing basis to understand how your metrics that you've outlined as important are looking and analyzing, and make decisions based off of that information. Okay, so just additional PPC tips. Obviously create landing pages for every ad campaign. So when you look at AdWords, there's a hierarchy of how your ads are structured and targeted. So that the highest level is what we call a campaign. So you want to create one web page per campaign, because typically what you're doing is when you set up a campaign, you have a group of keywords that you're targeting within that one campaign. They all have to be similar keywords. So for example, you would have one campaign for, let's say, teeth whitening, right? And everything that goes into that campaign, the ads and the web pages that are directed from those ads, all have to talk about teeth whitening. Then you would have a separate campaign to, let's say, talk about dental implants, right? So everything within that campaign should talk about dental implants. And ideally, there should not be any crossover between content, the ads, the pages, and the keywords that you're targeting within those campaigns. Um, so you can work with your online marketing provider in ways to maximize your daily and budget spend. At that point, this is a little this is going to require a little bit of analysis and math. So if you are completely new to PPC, I would highly recommend that you have somebody do it for you, because then they can just figure that out on the fly for you and apply optimizations. Whereas, it's probably a little harder to do if you're new to it. Also, definitely look for or hire companies that are premier Google partners, which means that they're the best in the business because they are actually certified by Google to use the platform correctly and optimally. So look for that badge. That means that that provider is preferred by Google. Okay, so let's go on to search engine optimization. So search engine optimization is a methodology of strategies, techniques, and tactics that are used to increase a website's ranking and visibility in search results under the paid ads. So basically, a page is structured where ads appear typically at the top, usually, and then since this is a local search, typically what you'll see is business listings here from Google Maps. So this is organic. It means that you are not paying to appear there. This is what Google feels is relevant and showing to users. And then underneath that are organic search results, which is actual links to websites where you can find more information. So anything below an ad is typically organic and you do not pay to appear there. And also how much you pay in AdWords does not influence whether you will show in organic results. I know that's a common misconception. Um, the importance of SEO, why is it important? Well, over 500 websites are created each minute, so there's a lot to sift through, and 85% of searchers will not go past the first page of results, unless, it's a really specific question and they're just not finding the answer. But otherwise, most people will not go beyond the first page. So other reasons to use as why SEO is important. Users trust search engines. A website that ranks well tells searchers this website has the information you want. And honestly, search engines are so sophisticated now. They're the algorithms are that generally people rely on the search engine understanding their question and their needs, so that they can answer the question. So they will just trust the search engine to give them the right answer. Um, Also, your competition is probably doing it. SEO in itself is not new. How we target and the tactics change over time, and they have changed significantly. But SEO in itself, as in optimizing a website for search engines, is not new. So chances are your competition has already been doing it. It delivers new patients at a great ROI, especially when compared to traditional marketing methods. Because if you have just one successful submission from search engine results, right? From organic results, where you gain revenue of about, let's say, on average, $4,500, right? From one procedure. SEO in itself may cost you in the range of, let's say, $500 to $1,000. So already there you have a positive ROI, even if you just get one new patient. Whereas with traditional marketing methods like TV, radio spots, anything like that, not only is it difficult to track, it's also difficult for it to take effect on patients because patients are generally not, they're not really aware, they're not really prepared to take in that information or those spots, those dental advertisements, and they'll probably most likely tune them out. Whereas with search, they're actively searching for you, so they're going to pay attention. Um, It also helps patients find you when they're looking for services you offer, and everyone is searching for businesses online. Even if you have more of an awareness campaign and you do a few awareness spots on radio, most likely a person is going to hear that and then make a mental note to Google you later. So either way, whether you are wanting them to find you through just like general searches for services, or if you want them to just Google your name and find you, you're going to need SEO. All right, so SEO in itself is composed of it's many strategies, but it has two main components. It's what you do on your site to optimize and what you do off your site to optimize. Because actually, your site in itself is not enough for it to rank well. There are many factors outside of it that will influence how well it's ranking. Also, some considerations before starting an SEO program. So I know that if you look at the person down the street that's ranking well and you are not, it's very easy to look at their site and think, oh, it's not, it's almost exactly the same as mine. Why am I not ranking? Well, that just kind of goes back to a couple of outside factors, those being, website presence when you're starting an uh, a campaign. It's not realistic to expect to go from, page 2 to page 1 within 30 days. It just doesn't work that way. It has to build on itself organically. So, you kind of have to set expectations on how long you want your campaign to run. But setting benchmark metrics before you start a campaign can be ideal here. Another thing you'll want to think about is an outside influence, which is the competition in your market. Generally, the more saturated the market is, the more difficult it is to increase rankings and traffic. Um, and then also, you'll want to consider having measurement from beginning to end so that you understand where you started so that you can understand how far you've gotten and where you want to go. So I'll go into some of the metrics you'll want to keep track later, but you should keep, as you're thinking about an SEO program, these are top considerations that you should have in the back of your mind as you're speaking to providers. Okay, so comparing the two channels, there are a few differences and a lot of similarities. With pay-per-click, it's basically pay to play. It relies on you to actually bid on how much you're willing to pay for a specific keyword. You have to monitor keyword bids, and with pay-per-click, you can actually add negative keywords, which are keywords that you don't want to appear for. So that's anything that's like free services or anything like that. There's specific services that you want to generate revenue from. So you'll want to add a negative keyword so that you don't show up for that. You can explicitly target specific audiences, and you can also target multiple geographical locations. You can A/B test, and results can be easily executed and determined, and it's a more accurate understanding of a return on investment because it's all right there for you within the dashboard. And generally, pay-per-click, you can see immediate results. So if you're the type of person that's just having trouble appearing on the first page, pay-per-click is a good way to just turn that around immediately. It would only take a week or so. Whereas with SEO, because it has to wait and rely on Google's crawlers to come back and understand what the site is about and relate it to search queries, that takes some time. So that's not something that could be achieved even within like 30 to 60 days. So it takes a while to achieve. So let's go into search engine optimization and how it's different from pay-per-click. The major difference is that you have to earn the right to play. And what that means is that Google is relying on the relevance of your content and the authority of your content to understand how it relates to what searchers are asking. Typically with search engine optimization, you can only target one specific location, and that's not necessarily um, because of anything that you do. It's more because the algorithm is working against you to target in geographical locations outside of your like major city, or if you live in a large metropolitan area, really within like a few city blocks of you. And that's because Google very deliberately tries to personalize search results. So it will, whenever there's a uh, intent on behind the search to find a brick and mortar business, then it will show the searcher hyper localized search results and anything that's in their general vicinity, and it will automatically filter out anything else that's around them. So that's why search engine optimization is also can be a challenge, because there are situations where dentists want to target outside of their geographical location, and it's not impossible, but it's very difficult to do. And also, results typically begin to take effect within 4 weeks, just like minor fluctuations, but can take 3 to even 6 months, and is an ongoing effort of optimization. Okay, so that's how things are different. The major similarities between the two channels is that keyword research is vital to success. You have to understand how you want to target your keywords. With pay-per-click, it's going to be by bidding on specific keywords. You explicitly tell the dashboard which keyword you want to bid on. And with search engine optimization, you target by adding those keywords throughout the content of your site. Quality pages and landing pages are necessary. Both are going to require the user to go to a web page and decide what to do from there. So a high quality page is essential to both channels. And by high quality, it means that it's legible, it's easy to read, it appears well, regardless of what device it's on, especially if it's a mobile device, and there is a clear call to action on the page so that the user knows what the next step should be. And the goal of both is to get better visibility on search results. Let's see, it looks like we have a question. Okay, so Jennifer, I did see your question. I will go over that at the end of the presentation. All right, so let's move on to how to use both SEO and PPC to maximize results. So overall, you can use it to improve visibility in search engine results pages. That's really ultimately what you're trying to do. And that's important because people are actively searching for you, so they already are in a mindset to hire, right? And they're already in a mindset to look for you, to go to you. So you already have their attention. With search engine optimization, it's a long-term ongoing strategy that helps you continually maintain and climb toward the top of search results. Pay-per-click is more immediate. The payoff is definitely more immediate. But by combining the both efforts, you're creating additional exposure among new patients for your practice, which will ultimately increase web traffic and set yourself apart from competitors. You can also, going back to the keyword research, so because both channels rely on keyword research, you can kill two birds with one stone by just doing one round of keyword research. And PPC ads are a great way to help you understand which keywords you should be targeting overall on your website as well. So as you're conducting keyword research for your PPC campaigns, you'll want to look at competition, search volume, and monthly searches. And this can be done through just Keyword Planner. If you just Google the phrase AdWords Keyword Planner, that's the tool that you can use to get these metrics and understand. And then as you begin to select keywords, based on that information, you can see which ads are most effective by implementing into your ads and using effective keywords. Then based on that, you can determine which keywords you want to add to your website in general to target through SEO. Okay, so you can actually also use A/B testing from PPC to inform your overall website content strategy, as I've mentioned. Not to only understand what keywords to target, but also to understand what phrases and what verbiage is most effective. So because PPC can deliver faster results, you can frequently test, A/B test, copy, and then from there, uh, find the most successful search phrase that you've included in your ads and implement it into your website copy, meta description, and page titles of your site. So meta description and page titles are going to be they're going to be the uh, copy that's actually within the coded structure of your page and will be taken out by search engine crawlers and appear um, and it would appear in as blue text or gray text in search engine results. So basically what you're trying to get at is figure out which is going to attract the most clicks and move more traffic to your site. All right, so here are 3 common strategies for that you can use to combine the 2 channels. So the first one is to achieve search domination with ongoing PPC and SEO campaigns. The objective here is to take online search real estate away from your competition by dominating the page. So the goal here is to appear multiple times within a single search page through pay-per-click ads. So typically, if let's say someone Googles teeth whitening, your ads would appear at the very top, and your organic pages would also appear just underneath, right? Just underneath the ads if you're ranking high. So what that does is it actually pushes down search results, other search results, and ultimately your competition because they're going after the same keywords. Um, In order to be successful though, you have to have extensive expertise in SEO and PPC. So it's probably going to require you to run these campaigns for a while before you can get to this point. And you'll also have to have a complete understanding of which keywords your competition is working or targeting through SEO or actively bidding on. Um, and the focus should be on PPC spend on a very specific set of highly competitive terms and keywords. I would not recommend that you try to do this with every single type of keyword that you want to target because it could get expensive very quickly because it is so highly competitive. And then it will also require you to continually test ad campaigns to further inform the SEO strategy. The second type of strategy that you could use is implementing a short-term PPC strategy while SEO takes effect. And I find that this is the most common approach that dentists take. So the point is to consistently have a presence on page one of relevant search results, regardless of where you are in your marketing campaigns or search engine marketing campaign. Um, the goal is to immediately appear on page one of results with targeted PPC campaigns, while in parallel implementing a strong SEO strategy, which can take a bit longer to see results. So basically, as your SEO is working and generating results, because it does take so long, you can supplement by just targeting through PPC. And then also, let's see, strategy 3 is to use PPC and SEO to target specific locations. So the idea here is to reach potential new patients in surrounding areas that SEO makes it difficult to reach, right? So you can use SEO and optimize your website for the specific city that you are located, right? So then you don't actually have to spend your ad dollars there, right? So you rely on your SEO to do the work for you in your geographical location. And then by excluding that geographical location, you extend to other surrounding areas. So I'll give you an example. Those of you familiar with Southern California, you know that Los Angeles is huge. So say a dentist is in Hollywood, right? So if they're doing well in SEO, they'll typically just show up in the Hollywood location. So they can implement a PPC strategy to target surrounding neighborhoods such as West Hollywood, North Hollywood, anything surrounded or there, central, downtown Los Angeles. All of those different areas where they're not physically located are still valuable to some dentists where they want to extend. Beverly Hills, if they are going more after cosmetic dentistry market, and that can help you extend and improve your new patient acquisition by extending to new markets. Okay, so some resources for you with obviously as you're implementing your search marketing, you're going to need a lot of tools to get you to understand what it is that you need or what you're trying to get out of your strategy. And the truth is that data is everywhere and you can use it to your practice's advantage. So I've laid out these free tools to help you measure your metrics and make informed decisions about your practice because it really does not make sense to implement this strategy and then not measure it. That just is not good for any reason. Um, so the top three tools that I would suggest are going to be Google tools because they're easy to implement and Google is a very powerful tool. So Google Analytics is one of them. That is going to tell you basically performance indicators for your website. So such as organic traffic or what we call goal completions, which basically tracks how often somebody takes a desired action on your site. And then it'll help you understand how much your website traffic is coming from search results among other channels. But search results is typically the one that's the focus, obviously, for SEO. With Google Search Console, that actually is specific to search engines, to Google as a search engine. So that will tell you how many impressions you are getting from your optimization efforts, how many clicks, and where your rankings are. So it's just a really handy tool to have, especially if you don't know or if you think you know where you're ranking. Um, Googling yourself is not enough. By doing so, you'll influence your search results because of how often you are searching, whether you probably have a history of clicking on your own website, or just Google will personalize those results for you. So it's not an accurate representation of what everybody else is seeing. To get an accurate representation of how you're ranking, you'll need to go to Search Console. You can also see how many times your organic listing was clicked on, and you can learn more, and it'll help you understand what keywords you're already showing for and how high you're showing for, so you can make adjustments to your website if you want to target that specific keyword and include it into your page title and meta description. And I know I'm throwing a lot of vocabulary words out there for you, so I am actually including a guide to help you understand that you know the basics of SEO. So if you don't quite get it the first time around, those guides will be available to you so that you can download them, and then this will sink in a little bit more. Um, okay, so in terms of like Google Ads or AdWords, you can understand your average ad position, the same thing, impressions for your own ads, clicks on your own ads, and then conversion rates and conversions on your ads. So Google Ads is specifically just for the advertising portion of this. And then it'll also require you to implement additional software, which are called tracking pixels, which will complete the picture for you and show you what your ROI is. All right, so here are the suggested resources. If you want just an overview of local search and just SEO in general, if you're kind of a newbie on that, that's totally fine. This kind of breaks it down for you. In SEO, we talk about business listings and how those influence your website. So if you have multiple business listings on Google Maps, that can generally be a bad thing. So that's provided here on duplicate listings and why they're bad for your practice. Again, this delves more into SEO and the strategy behind it and the tactics that you can implement to improve. Um, there's a little bit more of an explicit explanation between the difference of dental SEO and PPC here. So if you want to really dive in and understand exactly how the channels are different, again, I only provided you with a quick overview, then that's where you'll want to go. And then also you'll want to see the number one reason why your PPC ads are not effective, because this is generally speaking to the web page that your ads are pointing to and improvements that you can make on that web page to ensure that you are actually capturing website visitors and turning them into a potential new patient. So these are just quick reads for you. If you just want to click through and find somewhere to start, I would suggest here. If you have a little bit more time, each of these white papers really goes into detail on what AdWords is, what optimizations are typically needed in ads, in Google Ads, and then also what you can expect from the different metrics that I presented. And then local search and how it's affecting your practice is the same thing. It's an explanation of SEO, which website factors typically influence your rankings, and it will also go out and explain what external factors influence your rankings, like backlinks. You probably heard that one before, or business listings, or let's see, social media. If you have any links from social media, just anything like that. Those are all external factors that do influence how you rank. Um, so those are the resources for you. Okay, so at this point, I do want to leave some time for questions because I do know that this was a lot to take in. So let's see, we had a question. I want to get back to the question from Jennifer. She said, where can I find the list of prices for pay-per-click? We don't have prices online on our website, I don't believe. Let, let me just take one peek so that I can direct you to the appropriate page. Uh, One second, I think I know where it might be. Okay, no, it looks like you have to request a brochure. So actually, if you go, I think your best bet, if you want PPC specifically, you'll want to go to in our on our website. You can find it under pay-per-click here, and that will give you an overview, and then you can request a brochure by filling out a demo. They'll just give you an overview of what our pay-per-click is, our program is like, so that'll give you a little bit more information. Okay, we have a few more questions. Let's see. Okay, so Jennifer has a question, says, as far as pay-per-click, the way I understand it, it is someone can outbid you, so you have to stay on top of it to make sure someone hasn't outbid you. Yes. So I think what you're referring to is the way that pay-per-click works is you are bidding on a set of keywords that you are telling Google, hey, I'm willing to pay to appear for these keywords, right? Obviously, you're not going to be the only person that's going to be bidding. So it works a lot like an auction, right? If you bid on a specific keyword, you'll tell them, like eBay, right? This is the max amount that I'm willing to pay. So let's say it's $10. I'm willing to pay $10 for one click on from that keyword, right? The competition might say, okay, well, I'm going to pay $15, right? So max is $15. And then Google will provide kind of an average, right? So the only way that Google will provide an average bid for that specific keywords. And it's not necessarily always your max bid, and it's not always necessarily your competition's max bid. It just has different ways that it calculates it for you. So the current bid may be $6. And in that way, neither of you are outbidding each other. But if, let's say, that bid or the average bid then increases to, $11. At that point, the competition that's bidding $15 is now outbidding you. So there's a lot of different factors that go into why an average cost per click is the amount that it is. So it's not necessarily that you have to consistently outbid other people. You just have to make sure that you're consistently um, you're consistently providing a max bid that is over the amount of the average cost per click. Does that make sense? So if the average cost is $6, just make sure you always remain above that $6. Um, okay, so let's see. Dr. Choi has a question of is this something that ProSites can do for practice or something we need to hire? Absolutely. This is absolutely something that we can do for you, and this is not the only thing that we can. If you're interested in doing both SEO and pay-per-click, we offer both. So I will actually show you. Um, if you go to our website and you go to under marketing services, package options, you can see all of the different offers that we can provide, not just, in terms of search marketing, but also social media, SEO, website design, obviously. And we have these bundles available to you so that you can save some money if you are interested in having multiple services, which in the long run saves you quite a bit of money. Um, okay, so let's see, we have another question. What is the easiest way to get your business to show up at the top of the list when someone searches for dentists in their area? Okay, so the easiest way, there's a few things that you'll need to do. So let me pull up the resources. So I think the best resource for you that's going to be most helpful is, let's see, local search and how it's affecting your practice, just the general blog post that we have here. So while this loads, basically what you need to do is you need to, one, ensure that you have a business listing on Google, right? So if you appear on the Google Maps, that's a good indicator that you have a business listing. Then you'll want to make sure that that listing completely matches that listing information, as in name, address, and phone number, matches the information on your website. because Google will actually triangulate that information to understand where you are located. So you'll always want to look at name. Your name should appear, your business name should appear exactly as it appears on your website. And there are times when Google will push out automatic listings and the name will get all jumbled up. So you'll need to fix that. And then your address, it has to appear exactly as it appears on your address, and it cannot be a mailing address or a PO box. It has to be your physical address. Um, and then you'll also want to include what are called categories. So if we look at, let's say, we do incognito, or actually, you know what? Let's see what pops up for me. So these people here, if you look at them, let's look at this person here. So Sunset Dental Care East Hollywood, that person is probably has a website that is well optimized. Sunset Dental Care. So we can see that the name is the same, right? And they included the location because they probably have a different location. They have a local address that's right here on their website, and it's going to appear here on maps. And also the phone number. So the phone number is crucial because it has to have a local area code. It cannot be a 1-800 number because Google will look at that as well. So you can see here the phone number is included. And then also the category. So when you are submitting this, or when you are optimizing, I should say, you can decide what the category is. So you can tell it, I am a dentist, I am a I am an orthodontist, I am I believe cosmetic dentist is on there available to US dentists. So then Google knows, okay, this person identified themselves as a dentist or a dental office. So this is a listing that I can pull up whenever somebody is in this general vicinity to show up in search results. Also, you want to include information like your hours, your address, some reviews, because Google reviews actually have a lot of clout in terms of like rankings and maps. And that's probably the best thing you can do. Just make sure that this is cleaned up. Oh, and it helps to have a few photos as well. Okay. Okay, so Katie is asking, do you suggest landing pages for PPC, I'm assuming, that are on your website or separate from your website? So I personally, my personal choice is to typically just create a new page that's not on the website because then you can customize it exactly how you need to without being constrained by the optimizations that you have on your website. So the reason why that's important is because you may have a page on your website that you want to use that's ranking well, right? And you don't necessarily want to modify that page in order for it to make sense with the ads that you are running on pay-per-click. And so what I would do is I would just duplicate that page and then customize it so that it fits your pay-per-click ads and it uses the same verbiage, or if it's like an offer, you include the offer on that specific pay-per-click page. And then you don't interfere with any of the optimizations you have already completed on the website page, because if you move things around, then that could potentially cause you to lose some rankings. So that's my approach. Okay. I think Okay, so I think we are kind of running out of, okay, so it looks like I've answered everybody's questions. So at this point, I'm going to pull up the number again. Again, if you want more information, please just go to our website. You can contact us that way. If you prefer, also just give us a call. The phone number is on the screen. If you're already a ProSites member, definitely ask about bundles and bundling because that will save you a lot of money in the long run if you decide to add pay-per-click or really any of these services that you see within the wheel. We offer all of these, so the more that you bundle, the more you'll save. Um, Okay, so I'm gonna hang on here for just a minute to make sure that there are no additional questions, but I am gonna just stop talking. So for all of you that stuck around for the presentation, thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed this. Again, you will receive the recording and slide deck within the next following business day or so. So keep an eye out for that. But until then, thank you for joining and have a great day.